Why I love tax deeds is you can get these properties mortgage free. They're off-market properties, and it is one of the best times in history to get started in this business. So on the West Coast, the deed states that are going to be easy to get going are going to be like Washington, Oregon, California, Idaho, and Utah. Okay, so these are going to be your West Coast auctions. So if you're on the West Coast, anything within a 2-hour radius of you, you should be going to. This is your backyard. You need to get familiar with these auctions. You need to see some of these states have over-the-counter property sitting there right now. And it should give you motivation because for every 100 people who watch this video, at least 2 or 3 of them will take action today and get an over-the-counter tax deed that will change their life. It's just up to you if you're going to act on the information in this video. So for example, like Washington does a lot of their sales in the fall. California could do them in the spring, but it changes all the time. So you need to be on top of it. All right. So let's move on to the center of the United States where your tax deed sales are, and then we'll go to the East Coast. Now, so as we get into the center here, center USA tax deed sales that are awesome. We got North Dakota as a deed state, Minnesota, Kansas, New Mexico, Alaska. Well, actually, Alaska's on the West Coast. I forgot Alaska. Okay, apologize for that. We got Arkansas, Oklahoma, New Mexico. Here's a nice thing about some of these places. A lot of these places have really small counties, and you can scoop up some really great deals in these small counties. Here's one of the golden rules to keep in mind that I always say, and that is, easy to get information equals a waste of time, money, and energy. Hard to get information is what you want. So for example, the harder these counties are to find the information, the better it is for you, because that means less people are going to be able to get that information. What do I mean by that? You call the county and you say, when is the tax deed sale? And they say, we don't do tax deed sales. Some people might just leave. Instead, rephrase the question and say, well, what happens to the property where the homeowner doesn't pay the taxes? And they say, oh, that goes to the sheriff's sale. Like, away you go, right? So you might call and say, hey, do you have any over-the-counter tax deeds? And then they might say, no, we don't do that. And then you say, well, what happened to the properties that didn't sell at the tax deed auction? It's like, oh, those are in our inventory. You know, same thing. So you got to ask the right questions in this business, and you can absolutely do it. You just need to put in some elbow grease. It's very possible for you to be making 10 to 50 grand a month in this business, even starting with very, very little.